Welcome. Here to check out some charts. They're moving at 10 p.m. It was an active hour, 10 p.m. We got the dollar Dixie Sand USD. We got the ES futures. So let's start with that, as that is going to be important for tonight and tomorrow. So let's check out the ES futures hourly. And on the hourly chart, we got so we're going negative. We've gone negative this hour. Not a surprise. This hour is the cycle time for the ES futures hourly chart. Starts at 10 p.m. Pacific time. And for those of you that don't know what cycles are, every chart has a cycle, and the cycle never changes on that chart until that chart no longer leaves. So definitely want to pay attention to cycle times. Cycle times will help you to know when and where to look. It doesn't define direction, but it does tell you, you know what, this chart should be looked at this time. That way you don't spend your time just staring at the charts all the time. I used to do that horrible way to live, because you're just staring at charts, not even knowing what you're looking at all the time. When you have the cycle times, you know, like you're in between a cycle and what way the chart is headed for that cycle. So 10 p.m. was our time, and very bearish here, but we could have a pop and drop on the ES futures, which will take us a little higher. You see, because this is pretty good little bullish action and dropping. We got to maintain the 20-hour simple moving average in order to stay going upwards. So that was one of them for this hour. The next one cycling at this hour is the GBP JPY. That's the British pound, Japanese yen. That one is also dipping this hour. Actually, coincidentally trying to do the same move as the ES futures. Coincidentally. See, it's just the ES futures came down and bounced off of it. But the GBP JPY, GBP JPY has not bounced yet, but I'm pretty sure it will. Similar action. What would be cool on this British pound, Japanese yen, is if this purple line was a little more angled up. That would be awesome. Let's see what it looks like on the ES futures. No, it's the same. It's kind of sideways. But similar action there. Let's take a look at our trade view charts. So we had Sand USD starting off at this hour. Sand USD doesn't really give you a lot on the first hour of action, so you kind of have to let that hour pass, and then next hour you can kind of see what it wants to do, where it wants to go. But the other chart was a Dixie. Dixie started at 10 p.m. Pacific time, and that just started a couple minutes ago. 16 minutes ago. So we got to see what it does for the next hour. Some of the earlier ones we had was the Nikkei at 9 p.m. Actually, that's Nikkei futures. NKD. So last hour it was bearish, and that was the cycle hour. So seemed to have bearish pressure on here. Notice that it didn't do what the ES did. The ES came and bounced on here, but the Nikkei actually opened the hour all the way to the bottom. Gap down. So there'll be some resistance here, being that it gapped. Resistance. All right, so you have some resistance here. Okay, so that resistance there. If we pass that resistance, then volatility will kick in, because that would be a failure of actually an inversion of a cycle. That's the exact words I should use. Another one at 9 o'clock that we had was the British Pound Futures. So that's 6B. And that's got a great bullish pattern. Woo, those are awesome bullish patterns. I love those. Some people would call this one a flag. It's okay to call it a flag, a bull flag. I call it an inside bar just because it is something that's consolidating inside this bar. So if you inside bar is a pattern, means that the pattern is consolidating inside of a move. The bar has to be big enough to say that the move can live within that bar. So it's just bullish consolidation in this case, but could have been bearish consolidation in other cases, like this case here. It's bearish consolidation. So this flag can take us to the 200 moving average, even if that tomorrow is this low. You know, maybe a couple hours from now we'll be down here somewhere. Who knows? All right. So yesterday, let's go over some of the cycles that we gave over yesterday. Yesterday in our cycles for our timings, we gave, here it is here. Let me just blow it up for you. So we gave gold at 6 p.m. on the 14th. So that's /GC. Gold at 6 p.m. on the 14th. It's right here. Boom. Right? 6 p.m. on the 14th. Right there. And then we had Bitcoin at June 15th, 7 a.m. BTC, USD. 7 a.m. on the 15th. So here we go. So you pretty much had bearish pressure, and you didn't really do much until you broke the candle of the hour that I indicated for you, which was the 7 a.m. hour. So until you got out of that, I mean, you tried a couple times, but you couldn't, because those cycle times are strong, man. Those are strong. They set parameters for the time period, and that's the rules. I haven't seen them act any different. So this one had 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so that one had a cycle pattern. Okay, so then we have the next one that we gave out was the Dixie, June 15th at 4 a.m. The Dixie, June 15th at 4 a.m. So here we go, June 15th at 4 a.m. right here. So we gave that one out 24 hours in advance. Then we have dollar yen, June 15th at 12 a.m. Dollar yen. That was June 15th at 12 a.m. So June 15th. So here, June 15th, 12 a.m., we had a brief pause, but we never made it any lower than, any higher than that candle, even though we tried to. It's too strong of a candle for it to breach like nothing. Okay, so those were our cycle times that we gave out, just reviewing them so that you can see that they do what they do, and sometimes they don't do nothing, meaning like it's not, the chart is not doing anything anyways. It's not like it's the cycle that's not working. The cycle is a cycle, and if it doesn't work, do anything this time, it's going to do something next time. So, all right, thank you very much for joining in. Follow, subscribe, like.